At SPIN 2014, you presented the analysis of the effects generated by the application of the Durbin Amendment that limited fees charged to retailers for debit card processing. Which are the main results of the US experience?
So the main effect of the Durbin Amendment was that interchange fees at affected banks, that's banks with assets of $10 billion or more, were cut by just over 50%. They were cut in half. Those banks then sought to recoup their losses by increasing the charges, the monthly charges on bank accounts, by reducing the availability of bank accounts to customers for free, and by raising the minimum amount that customers would have to have in their bank accounts in order to get a free checking account. The consequence of that was that some people, especially poorer consumers, exited the banking system. So you had an increase in the number of unbanked people in America as a result of this. As well, of course, all of the customers who experienced higher monthly service charges as a result of no longer having free checking or having the increase in monthly service charges which were applied. So we estimated that the costs to the poor were about $1 billion to $3 billion in total per year.
It seems that the European legislation will follow a similar path as the US. Do you think that also the effects will be similar even in a different context?
So one of the things that happened in the States is that because the interchange fee regulation only applied to debit, there was a shift towards credit. In Europe, this is going to apply both to debit and credit. So it's going to be more extreme. I think you're going to have a much more significant impact. This is going to disincentivize people from becoming banked. And right now it's estimated that in Italy, about 30% of the adult population, people over age 15, don't have bank accounts. That's an enormous proportion. That means all of those people have to pay a lot of money in order to cash checks. They don't have a ready access to loans, especially secured loans and mortgages. That means that they can't engage in the kinds of activities that those things make possible, entrepreneurial activities. This is a huge problem in Italy. If you want to solve that problem, don't mess with the interchange fee. It will be counterproductive.
You suggested that the interchange fee regulation has resulted in a lower use of payment cards. In your opinion, which strategies should be implemented instead to improve the use of payment cards?
There has to be an understanding that there's no one-size interchange fee fits all. And that means not imposing these rigid restrictions that are being proposed in Europe, perhaps especially in credit, but also in debit. It's important to incentivize innovation in payments. So allow that to happen, allow the market to innovate. Don't squash innovation by restricting the price that the networks can charge. Possibly even incentivize merchants to accept payment cards by offering a tax rebate. There have been experiences in other countries where reduced tax rates have been charged on payments made using electronic means. If you were to do that, then you might actually encourage merchants to accept more payment cards. At the moment, they're incentivized to take cash. Why? Because then they can avoid paying tax. So you have to shift them into the system if you want them to be part of the system.